Did Harley Davidson actually copy Indian this time around? That's what we're going to talk about. Of course, Harley has confirmed their new CVO Road Glide and Street Glide. And if you look at the comments in this video, you're going to see a ton of people calling this thing the Indian Road Glide or the Indian Street Glide. And that's what I want to look at. I want to look at the aesthetic differences, the best we can tell with the video and pictures that we have now, and see if there's any similarities. And maybe Harley actually did the unthinkable and copied Indian this time around. Now, if you are unfamiliar with me and my channel and you think that I'm just, in one camp or the other, just know I've reviewed as many Harleys as I have Indians. I ride a Harley, but Indian and Harley, I see some of the faults, pros and cons with both of these manufacturers. And to be quite honest, I'm in the camp with very few people seemingly where I want there to be competition, dude, because that is always better for me and you as the consumer. So regardless, dude, I want to look at these bikes. Let's look at the similarities. We're not going to talk about everything. This is based on aesthetics pretty much only, okay? So we have the best picture, I think, from Cycle World, okay? They're the ones that actually, as far as I know, broke this first from a patent or a filing in Australia or something like that, okay? But I want to use this picture, and I want to use this picture, and maybe even still shots of the video. Actually, we definitely want to do that too. So let's look at a standard Street Glide first, okay? The headlight is the center of attention here. Where the fairing comes down, it overhangs the headlight just a little bit here in the front. You have no bottom fairing or very little bottom fairing showing right here underneath the headlight. And what you'll notice compared to the Chieftain especially is how wide. If we go up from the headlight in here, it just has a very wide and recognizable front fairing. If we look at the Chieftain here, right, the Chieftain looks significantly slimmer than the Street Glide, okay? You have more body lines in here, right? And it does kind of give it a squared off appearance. You have the fairing is much more noticeable under the headlight here. And with all of these body lines, it just looks slimmer, trimmer, more body lines, more definition, if you will, than this right here, okay? I think they both look awesome, but I think the Street Glide has always had just a better looking appearance almost across the board. The way that they have, let's kind of zoom in here, the way they have this piece right here, I think adds to the squared off look a little bit. And look, man, there's only so many ways you can do these fairings, okay? There's only so many ways you can do them before they're going to say one is copying the other, but it does kind of have a squared off appearance. If we look at the new Street Glide, well, it looks like it's kind of squared off, doesn't it? You almost have, let's go back to the still shot here. So again, we have a really kind of wide fairing, just like what they've been doing. Obviously, you have the LEDs here. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then where this bezel comes down, it's actually much more of the fairing exposed there, just like the Indian. And with the way they have these lines in here, plus the headlight is not really round. It's almost like a hexagon or something now. It does look pretty freaking similar to that right there. Not the same, but similar. All right. The other thing that you'll notice in the Street Glide, and I think we get a better view with it here and in this picture, notice all the body lines, right? So they took the somewhat flat appearance, if you will, and they added much more definition to it as well. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, right, it doesn't look any trimmer than the Chieftain, or it doesn't look as slim as the Chieftain. But with all the additional body lines, it definitely looks like they could have taken some notes from Indian in that fairing design. Now, it also appears to me that it has an adjustable windshield. I can't tell if this is a track system or what, but it definitely looks like that. Now, you got to remember, I love Harley Davidson. I have to let people know that, because they're going to instantly see this video, and one way or the other, they're going to say, it doesn't even really matter. People are going to say it regardless, so whatever. But at the same time, Harley has been behind on a lot of this stuff, right? You got to pay for the RDRS to get your cornering, traction control, and all of the things that Indian has already been doing. Liquid cooled motors, right? The 108 Power Plus in the Indian and the Challenger, at least, uh, motorized windshield, these kinds of things. Harley is behind on, so they have to start doing these things in order to catch up and keep up with the competition. Now, some people won't agree with that. Some people think by their name only. I totally disagree with that. Harley has to be able to keep up. And again, this competition is good for you and me. It doesn't hurt us. No matter what camp you're in, it's good for us. But regardless, when you look at those things, very similar. Now, they also put the lights in the fairings here. And so I'm a fan of more light. More light is a good thing, right? And I think the way they did this is way more tasteful than what you're going to see in something like the Roadmaster. This is my least favorite touring motorcycle from Indian. It is just gaudy. And if you drive one of these, dude, you best believe I'm going to give you the biker wave. And I respect the hell out of you because we're both on two wheels. But this is an ugly motorcycle, and that's just my opinion. I'm sorry. But you notice it has the LEDs in the fairing. I don't I don't know if they took much inspiration from that. Maybe the fact that it just has the strips there. But Harley definitely did a way better job of slimming this down, following those body lines. But to me, it is pretty clear that they may have taken some inspiration from Indian, at least as far as the fairing. Oh, this makes people's heads spin, dude. And I find it so funny, man, because anytime Harley changes up, it's so funny because people will look at Harley and be like, y'all need to change something. Y'all gotta cater more to what motorcyclists want. And every time they change something, you have just a whole host of people saying, I can't believe they changed it. Now they're copying India, So, but anyways, so let's look at the Road Glide. I just find a little bit of humor in it. It's just funny. So here is a standard Road Glide. Well, this is what the Road Glide has been for many years, right? The shark nose fairing, much more pronounced as far as the fairing overhanging the dual headlights. It's always had dual headlights, right? You'll notice minimal body lines, really wide in this area here. Now, when I look at just a standard Road Glide versus the Challenger, to me, they look nothing alike. Nothing. You have a Cyclops headlight here in the Challenger. You have the LEDs on either side that act as turn signals. To me, that and that look like nothing. Like nothing. I mean, the Challenger has almost a bigger fairing, a more bubble appearance, if you will, where Harley has done a good job at slimming this down where they can and not giving it such a wide appearance. Now, I'll be honest with you, personally, I think the Challenger is badass. That's my favorite bike that India makes. I love these things. But to me, they don't look anything alike. Well, let's look at the new one. Okay, this isn't the best picture here. But if we look at this from Ultimate Motorcycling, and I will leave this down below too, I want to give those guys credit. Wherever they got this from, it doesn't matter. But you look at it, singular headlight. And then the LED bar. Now, what's interesting about that bar is if they just cut it off, like where my pointer is right here, so basically on the sides of the headlight, I would say, dude, they definitely took some inspiration. And maybe that's why they have it come up all the way underneath. Dude, I think this is a badass design, dude. I look at it and I'm like, I want that, But that's just me. I like different things, and I just hope these are liquid cooled. I hope what we're seeing is radiators down here, not oil coolers. But, regardless, that's neither here nor there. That's not for this video. But regardless, I think in the lighting, maybe they did take a little bit of inspiration. Other than that, it still looks like a shark nose fairing. It's still slimmed down in here. It doesn't have that real big bubble appearance to it. If we look like kind of right there, get them as even as we can. I just don't see it. Let's move these right next to each other. Maybe I'll see something that I don't. If we look at this Road Glide, the Challenger, the new Road Glide. There's the new one. I think just like the Street Glide, they kept pretty true to what the Road Glide looks like, again, except for that headlight. So I would say the Street Glide is maybe more inspiration, and with the lighting on the Road Glide, they may have taken more inspiration from Indian there, but not in the overall design. Again, it's more slimmer, trimmer, whatever. And again, it does look like there's a motorized windshield. I don't know. I can't really tell. Maybe it's not, but I kind of hope that it is. So lighting here, and then overall kind of design on the Street Glide, maybe. The only other kind of picture we have or things to talk about are the bags. And to me, I don't see many similarities. You know, Indian kind of has this, not where it's hugged fully over the pipe or anything like that, but it has that slammed bag look. And of course the CVO, it comes back, it almost looks like a standard Harley bag, honestly, you know, since the Rushmore project. But then it kind of dips right here, kind of makes this, I don't know, 45-degree cut almost. And of course it's over the top of the pipes right there. So I don't know that I see very many, if any, similarities there. It looks more like a Harley bag with just a little bit different design. And of course you have the CVO fender with the lights right in here, okay? Tank, I don't know that there's much different, but when you look at the tank on the Challenger at least, you know, it comes back, it's got a nice body line, and it makes, you know, kind of like a 45-degree cut right there. If we look at a Chieftain, it kind of looks like a standard, you know, gas tank from Harley, really. It's got a really kind of wide appearance, and of course it has the one fake cap and your actual gas cap there. The bags look to be the same as the Challenger. I don't really see very many similarities there at all. Now, of course, the inside of the fairing looks different. We got a bigger, better screen, seemingly. I don't see any gauges now, so there's a lot that we're going to be able to unpack once I can finally get my hands on this. So I'd say, to answer the question, maybe they did take some inspiration from Indian. It's, you know, they're not going to come out and say that, of course, so it's just speculation. But from what I see, there are some definite similarities between the new Harley Road Glide and Street Glide to the Chieftain and Challenger. But again, how many different ways can you design these types of fairings? And at the end of the day, I think they both look sexy. So anyways, man, I want to hear from the community here. What do y'all think? Did Harley actually copy Indian this time around? Or do you think, nah, man, they came up with a new, fresh-looking design? Either way, love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. Big thanks. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.